What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Hedera hash graph HBAR today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are at about 23 cents right now, having a little dumpola coming off of yesterday's highs. And it's nothing intimidating. And if anything, actually, guys, HBAR is holding up better than a lot of the coins that have dumped recently. A lot of these coins are at lower prices, but you're holding up pretty well, I got to say. Let's look at something with some volume real quick before we continue. I just want to see. Yeah, I thought so, right? You've got more volume on the way up, less volume on the way down. Today, you almost have as much volume as you did yesterday, and you didn't go anywhere. You're only up. So this move is over, right? It's not going any lower. Absolutely, you're done moving lower. So I would think from a low here to a high, let's just see. At your 0.5, a lot of cryptos have been finding support at their 0.5 recently for whatever reason, but that's just the deal. I think a lot of people anticipate that they know what they're doing, and they think that the price is going to go to the golden ratio. Hold on, guys. Whew. They think it's going to go to the golden ratio, and they're waiting on that, anticipating that, because it's a very kind of novice beginner thing to understand is the interactions that we have with the golden ratio. But the mistake that most people make is that they think that the golden ratio is so important, and it is. It's very important, but because it's so important doesn't mean that you have to interact with it, right? There are signs that will prevent you from interacting with it, such as finding support at the 0.5, getting back above the 382. When you get above the 236, it's over. There's no chance of you going lower, and I think you're going to move up from here. I don't think that you're going to go lower, you guys. Let's just see. Hold on, gotta fix some stuff there. If we look at this on a RSI perspective, you can see here that you're finding higher lows in your RSI, actually right in line with your prior lows right here. Literally, it's perfect. It's perfect. You're in an uptrend in your 4-hour RSI. It even goes back to here from this low. Higher lows, higher highs throughout the whole thing. You're going to go to the overbought zone. What happened last time when you went to the overbought zone? You saw a move like this. You saw a move in 2 days' time that resulted in an overall growth of about 60%. Now, I'm not saying that in 2 days from now you're going to be up 60%. I'm trying to say that in 2 days from now you're going to be up 80%. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe you're up 30%. Maybe you're only up 10%, 20%, but likely from here you will build, you will continue to grow. This is not the high. You're not going lower. That is the low. This is the higher low. You're building from here, okay? You're looking at this now at 23 cents, but what about the tariffs, C-Zar? I've mentioned it in every video. That's why I haven't talked about it, but okay, let's talk about the tariffs. It's already priced in. It's already priced in. Do you know how the world works? I don't really know how the world works, but I understand certain things about market dynamics, right? And it's that the people in charge, the smart money, they have insider information, and it might be illegal to trade off of information that's insider information, but they still do. They still do. It happens. You might not like it. You don't have to like it. It doesn't have to be a good thing, but it happens. I promise you. And even if it wasn't insider information, it was obvious that we would move down into this amount of time. It's obvious now in hindsight because. And I definitely did not expect February to be bearish. I definitely didn't. I thought that the tariffs would not be a thing. I didn't think that they would be a concern, but it makes the utmost sense now that if the tariffs were to become affected, enacted like they are this month, it would make sense that the big boys, the people, the big girls, the ones with the money, the people in charge, they're aware of this. They sell preemptively. This negative news, this tariff stuff, it's already priced in. Anybody expecting a dump to happen today, I mean, first off, how's that going for you? We're up 2%. Anybody expecting a dump to happen today because of the tariff news, well, it's already out there. We're already aware of the news. The narrative is out there. You ever hear of buy the hype, sell the news? This is a sell the hype, buy the news event, right? It's opposite. The news is already priced in. It was priced in ahead of time. Make no mistake, right? This right here, this was the crypto strategic reserve. That just kind of happened overnight. But that was also a buy the hype, sell the news thing, right? Trump announced that back in January. It was like January 23rd that we were going to have a crypto strategic reserve. It just finally happened, right? And in anticipation of that, we really should have been moving up, but we moved down, giving the United States an opportunity to acquire whatever cryptos they wanted. Maybe they acquired some HBAR, but it's not in their crypto strategic reserve. I'm going off on a whole nother tangent here. This is why I didn't want to talk about the tariffs, but it's already priced in. If you're thinking that the tariffs are going to cause the price to drop lower, dude, it already did. We're up high. We have a higher low now. The news is out. What happens tomorrow? Do you guys know how news works? People forget about shit in a day. They forget about it in hours. The next piece is going to come out. Trump is going to address crypto tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, I think, which would be 7 o'clock my time. Which from here, that would be like 10 hours from now, something like that. And I promise you, I can't promise you. Nobody knows what he's going to say, right? He could say anything, but I would expect it's going to be bullish. So Just take that for what it is. Everybody's throwing him flack for the crypto markets. I don't get it, man. He's been nothing but pro crypto. It's but whatever. It's okay. Golden ratio here down to the 382. Very uncommon. It's actually very uncommon to reject the golden ratio and come back below the 382. You could interact with the 236 still. I don't expect that you go lower, but if you do, 21.3 cents is a possible area. So if we do close the day red, if we do move lower, don't panic. Just prepare yourselves, right? It could happen. I don't think that it does. That's the only reason we're talking about it. From a low to a high, we're at the 0.5, looking good, probably find support. Again, if we were to go down below to the golden ratio, 21.2 cents shows up again. And then, of course, when we do move up to new highs, new all-time highs, I anticipate that we will, this month of March, be at new all-time highs. The first target area is 50 cents, and then on to 66 cents, and then on probably to 83 cents, $1.14, $1.52, and beyond. I think that by the end of, not March, but by the end of April, maybe by the end of March, sometime in April, though, I think early April, mid-April, we're going to see prices in what I like to call the money zone right here, right? We make it orange because money, Bitcoin is sound money, right? Dollars are not. Dollars are green. Bitcoin is orange. It is the money zone. The orange zone will always be the money zone. 2886 to the 3113, $1.90 to $2.29. This is where I think HBAR is going to go. Now, I want you guys to understand, just because these numbers are here and that's the quote-unquote money zone, that does not, I don't identify it as the money zone because it's an expected area to hit all the time. It's actually very difficult to get to these areas. And the reason I call it the money zone is because in the most extreme bullish environments, you will rip all the way up to this area, right? And even then, you can consolidate, whatever, and then continue to grow from there afterwards. But oftentimes, you don't just see a straight move that tears all the way through unless you're getting some kind of massive entity with a fat finger that just buys all at once. Something like that happens, right? It's very, very hard to see a move that in one fell swoop takes you all the way up here. And I say one fell swoop, it'll be methodical, but one move. Just like this move here from a low to a high, it wasn't one fell swoop, but basically, right? Basically, that's what I'm talking about. Something like this, it might take more time, but I would expect $1.90 to $3 or $2.30 to be where we go, just based off of this in itself. If we zoom out of Hedera hash graph, we look at the weekly time frame, you're clearly in a bull flag. Let's see if we can agree with that price area based off of the bull flag too. From a low to a high, and I want to say before we get started, the measure move is just an idea. It's not a requirement. And this idea says that likely, if I can get it right there, let's see, likely we would keep moving up until we at least see $1.66. Okay, so that's not quite in the money zone, right? It's not quite at that area, but it's close. It's very close. It's actually right below that area. Oh, I'm sorry. It was this high to low. My bad. It's still pretty close. It's above the 2618. And anytime you get above the 2618, you oftentimes do follow through to the money zone. Okay, the 2618 oftentimes is a very significant area of resistance that you don't get above until you consolidate a little bit of time, relatively speaking. So with this idea that the measure move is not a requirement, you could fall just below or just above. It actually matches up very well with what I'm saying. If anything, it indicates more so that we could stop at $1.52, if anything, but $1.90 to $2.30, absolutely a valid target based off of this. If we look at last cycle's high and we take the bear cycle low, bull cycle high, bear cycle low, and we go to our new all-time high areas, right? $1.20, $1.79, this area comes up as kind of the minimum zone. It's very common with the 1414 to wick a little bit above it. If we wicked above it, we're in that area that's around like $2, right? So it's just above $2. So I very much do expect that HBAR, if it's not above $2, I think that you will at least be at $1.50 by the end, maybe by the end of March, but I think it's more so going to be by the end of April, sometime in April, mid-April. And I genuinely do think that you'll be at prices that are above $2 whenever it's all said and done. I'm not worried about the price at all. I think that it's phenomenal that February closed red. You got overbought in your monthly RSI, and then you cooled off. You're not overbought anymore, and you're in a position now to bounce off the 60. Okay, when you bounced off the 60 last cycle, it was at the end of the cycle. It didn't promote further growth, or at least not too much. But over the months to come, you did grow another 4x. Okay, over the months to come, I'm expecting that you're going to grow more than a 4x, and it's not going to take you more than 2 months. Right? It's going to take you a lot less time. You might do a 4x by the end of this month, man. Genuinely. I wouldn't be surprised if you did, genuinely. But you're anything but bearish here. Monthly RSI looks good. Weekly RSI, same thing. Phenomenal. Getting overbought. Your lows are at the 50. Phenomenal, bro. You're in the most bullish posturing that you can be. Look at what you did last time when you were overbought. You bounced off the 50, right? Relatively speaking. And this move, it's called the relative strength index. So don't anticipate that just because you bounce off the 60 here that it only dictates you move up like this. No. This is a move that you moved up. It's relative to this. This move bouncing out the 60, it's relative to this. I would anticipate not just a move like this, which is still fun. That's still great. If we move up like that, I don't think anybody's going to be upset if HBAR is at 56 cents by the end of the month. But I would anticipate that the move is going to be pertaining to something that's more relative to this kind of standard here, and we will launch above $1. I would be surprised if we were at anything less than $1.50 whenever this next move, this next phase up is all said and done. That's all I'm trying to say. So. And I really do anticipate we will see prices around, if not above, $2. I've got nothing else for you guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If the question comes to mind, is it a good time to buy, though? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but yeah, it's a good time to buy. I think so. You got a double top here, and all you did was find support at your 50. It's not dramatic at all. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you buy here, you need to tell yourself, I'm buying here at 23 cents. If you guys hear that, that's not a dog barking. That's my daughter barking like a dog. And I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I'll check that on a later video. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm talking over it, but we'll see. 23 cents now. If you buy here, you have to be okay with the idea, the notion that we could drop to 20 cents, 21 cents. It's a possibility. And if you can stomach that, then guess what? You're entitled to the gains. If you don't want to buy here and you want to wait for that lower price to come, which I don't believe is going to happen, but it could happen. I mean, generally speaking, bouncing off the 0.5, rejecting the 382, it does set you up to go to the golden ratio. Let's be real. You have prior areas of resistance here. You have prior areas of support over here as well. It's a very realistic possibility. Higher lows overall, you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing if that happened. If you're someone who is not going to buy here, hold on, and you want to wait for lower prices, that's cool. But what you're doing then is you're risking an opportunity here. It's an opportunity cost potentially because you're waiting for this move, and you're not just getting in and saying screw it. This, you know, I don't care if it goes down that low. I'm okay with it going to literally prices that I can't even see on the charts because they're so high, right? The risk versus a reward, it's not even comparable. Short of a black swan event that comes out and dumps the whole market to zero, it's not comparable at all, the risk versus reward. It's an obvious choice, not financial advice, not financial advisor, but if the question is it a good time to buy, I hope that you can answer that yourself, okay, with all the information that you have before you now. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.